made me feel.
You did it first.
Everybody was so gracious, and I don't think there was one of you who took a picture or signed an autograph that didn't say, thank you for coming. It's just amazing, and I really, really appreciate that. Thank you.
So, you guys gave us a lot of questions. We're probably not going to get to all of them, but we're going to get to as many as we can today. But I have a few first.
All right.
Of course. First of all, hi. Even though we spoke earlier, I'm still a little bit starstruck right now. That's probably not going to go away anytime soon, but it's cool. It's cool.
Are you an Autobot or a Decepticon?
Almighty Megatron, you'll always be my leader.
A Decepticon!
You have played everything from colossal death robots to the family pet, the beloved dogs of every cartoon you've ever seen. There it is.
That's a Beverly Hills watchdog.
I could tell, I could see it. Yeah. So, what character or kind of character is the most fun for you to play?
Well, you know, I think as an actor, everything that you have an opportunity to play, you try to find something fun. When Transformers came along, I've been doing, as you pointed out, a lot of dogs, cats, all that stuff. Dads, hi Johnny, are you home from school or just robbing the refrigerator? And guys next door, uncles, and so when a role comes along like Megatron and Transformers, it's just so much fun because it's so different than what I've been doing. So it's usually what you've been doing lately, but there's nothing more enjoyable than doing a good villain, I think.
Villains are always more fun. So you've inspired so many through Megatron, through all of your different voices over the years. Who were some of your inspirations when you were starting out?
Well, of course, Bullwinkle the most.
I love Bullwinkle. I would race home on my bicycle and go through traffic and red lights. Don't ever do that. And to get home to watch Bullwinkle, absolutely. And as fate would have it, later on I had an opportunity to work with Bill Scott and play some of those characters. But just to sit there and I'd say, Bill, would you? And he said, I know what you want.
Of course I'll do it for you. I'm Petalilly Booth.
But he was one of my big inspirations and just a pure genius. He was fantastic. Dawes Butler, Don Messick, Mel Blanc, Peter Cullen. Great. All the greats.
So before we move on to the audience questions, what are you doing now? What's on the horizon?
Well, right now we're just finishing up our latest iteration of the new version of Scooby-Doo. And we've been doing that.
Come on! You're timid to clap for that. My God! Great, sitting right next to me.
Well, it's amazing when you think we've been doing that show now for 4 years. Hard to believe when I'm only 36 that we've been doing it. But
You look good.
thank you. But this latest iteration, we just finished 26 episodes, and now we're into the ADR process where the show comes back. We change dialogue, they fix things, they have another reading they want you to try. And that's always fun. That'll take us all the way through September. So when you say you're finished with the show, you still keep on going. And anyhow, so we have a new Scooby-Doo version coming out. And also we did a movie with a kiss.
I'm sorry. With Kiss?
Yeah, with a kiss.
Like Gene Simmons and Fred are going to be rocking out.
Absolutely. And those guys are amazing. They had so much fun. Gene Simmons is a trip, and Scooby was going, oh, is that makeup? But it is really, really good. I saw the feature. It's a DVD feature. It's really beautiful. I mean, the colors are outrageous. And the music, I mean, you hear some of those great rock songs, they're there. And it's a trip. Really, really good.
A notch up from the Harlem Globetrotters. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, that was fun too.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get to your stuff.
All right.
Who's the man, Frank?
Thank you so much.
I hope this is that guy's question. You don't have anything, unfortunately. But I'm going to pretend it's your question, sir. And pretend you're talking to me, too. All right. Have you enjoyed coming back to do Megatron? The voice of Megatron, any difficulties?
No, not at all. Actually, I love it. I've loved doing this voice for a lot of years, and I thank my friends at Hasbro for letting me do that. No, it's a voice that is kind of like riding a bicycle, you know? You may fall once and skin your knee, but no, you get right back on it and you're ready to go. And it's been fun. I always enjoy doing it. You enjoy doing it? No problem. Fun.
So where do you draw your inspiration for the many animal voices that you do? Do you have any pets?
Actually, I draw the inspiration from the animals themselves. When we did Raiders of the Lost Ark, I knew they were looking for a monkey. So I went down to the LA Zoo and kind of hung out and kind of close to who I am anyway. They were like looking at my brothers and I knew exactly what they were saying.
If anyone's recording audio, can they animate over that? Let's get like Aladdin Part 5 or something.
But really, it's just a matter of observation, of watching and listening closely. And like my dog, I had a German Shepherd that was my soulmate. And she would just give me so much information. Like, if you watch her closely, just, now, you wouldn't normally think you're going to be staring at a dog like, God, this looks so good. Do that again. Oh, yeah. So I was studying my dog. Yeah, absolutely.
So hope that answers your question, whoever you are. Is there any character that you've not played that you've always wanted to? Who, what, and what would they sound like?
Well, you know, the great thing about the voice business is that you get an opportunity to play so many different things. You can be a baby in the morning. Then like a teenager. Hey mom, and what's for dinner? Your dad. Sit down and I'll tell you what's for dinner. Grandpa, oh, what about me? Did I get you dinner? You know, so you have such a nice range. I think that if you just wait long enough, the part will come along. And you take it, do what you can. But I don't know, I've just loved it all. So far, still open.
You can do it all, that's why. These guys would, right?
Excuse me.
All right, so other than the technology involved, this is actually a great question. Other than the technology involved, how has voice acting changed for you between G1 in the 80s and Prime today?
Very, very good question. In the G1 days, I think the animation was, but the stories actually were slower. a lot faster, because now they're slower, like in Transformer or Optimus. We did, Transformers Prime.
Yeah.
This, I'm confused. Oxygen.
You got water down here.
But in the G1 shows, everything was fast. There was music. It was pa 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 pa. The stories, I think, thank you. As you remember, the stories really, really move. There was a lot of characters, a lot of action. But then, like through time, in this new iteration with the Prime version, that type of animation lends you the opportunity to really concentrate, I think, more on the story and on the subtlety, because you can see the facial moves. There was a lot more time for things to develop, and also we continued stories on back and forth. So I think that probably the newer shows, there's more emphasis on story, and of course the art has changed so much. You can do a lot more now with all the effects, and the technology is fantastic. So with technology, you gain an awful lot of visual, and then also I think the effect of the story being a little bit more.
So going off of that question, how much of the story do you get to know beforehand, or when you get your sides? There's actually no water in that glass. That's the most amazing part.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
So how much of the story do you know beforehand when you get sides, when you get your lines for an episode?
You honestly want to know this? You want to know the real answer to this? It varies, but normally, and I think probably most guys will tell you, if we do get the script before, like via computer, we don't read it. When you get to the session, I find there's so much directing that anything I preconceived, that I'm going to have to fight over those feelings that I already want to do with a director who has a whole different idea. So it's better to come in, for me anyway, to come in and work with the director, see what he's going to say, see what his interpretations are, and then I don't have any preconceptions going, unless they want me to do that, you know. But a lot of the studios will not want us to tell you that they've sent out scripts and we haven't read them. Yes. Oh, sorry.
All right, so.
But really, I'm sorry, and usually the way it's done anyway, most of you guys know this because I know you're all pretty hip to this, but we get the scripts, you sit down and you read it like a play, and it's fresh and fun because now you're reading it and then you get up and go. You know, and sometimes some shows you take 3 pages, put it up and read them, and you haven't even seen it yet. So that's a little bit like flying without a net, but you know, it's kind of fun too. Am I ringing a lot, by the way? You hearing yourself?
I think there's an old-timey modem in the back or something. Who brought that? All right.
Great questions, by the way.
Would you please tell us the story of stealing Peter Cullen's steak dinner?
No.
There you have it.
I did steal his parking space once, so.
That was weird. All right, so how was the casting experience for Transformers 4 compared to other casting experiences?
Well, I can tell the story, can't I? It's my agent. No. Actually, I got a call for a general audition for some characters.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, I've done a lot of those characters, and you know, unless they needed something special, maybe a chance to give some of my friends and newer guys a shot and do some of these other characters. So then we got a call saying back, no, we'd like you to do a special character for us. So I really wasn't aware of what I was doing
Really?
Until I found out that I was auditioning for, well, it wasn't really even an audition at that point. But so basically, no, I went in and just worked with Michael on that, and we just went, you know.
And it's pretty amazing to hear your voice come out of the big bad in a Transformers movie.
Well, it kind of went from here down to kind of here. Now it's down to here. I am Galvatron. Well, I am Megatron. Well, I am Galvatron. I'm well aware of that.
So that happened. All right. Now, here's another weird one. Many voice actors in the past have told the story of you doing the sounds of a payphone during a break. Is that true, and can you recreate that?
No and yes. Somebody come out to me? Peter, Colin, he's not here.
Story debunked. What made you here? Like 20 minutes. All right, so this is a question about some specific characters you played back in G1. What was your inspiration for creating the voice of Rumble? And can you give us a sample?
Yeah, Rumble was kind of, you know, a little bit like the dead-end kid. You remember those guys? It's kind of like that, you know. It was just sort of a tough shoot talk later, understand? That was the voice there, right there.
But that was the Dead End Kids. I don't, you guys are probably way too young for the Dead End Kids, but in the old days, I guess that was probably back in the, I don't know, really, you know, James Cagney type days. The early 30s. Yeah, I read about this, of course. But yeah, so there was 2 or 3 of those guys, and I don't remember what this fellow's name was, but that's who I kind of had in my mind.
He's kind of a tough kid when you shoot fast.
Definitely started a trend. It was pretty great. All right, so I'm going to reword this a little bit. Do you have any anecdotes or kind of reflection on working with Chris Latta? What was it like working with Chris Latta?
Chris was amazing. Actually, he worked so hard and so fast and so intense, I mean, obviously that voice, that he would perspire profusely. And we'd see who was going to get the mic next to him during the session. Peter and I would go like, I was there last week. But I mean, he had so much energy, you could really just feel the power coming out of him. I mean, he never left anything. It was all boom, right there. He was just, he was a treat to work with, but that I remember. And we always flip the coin. But it was really nice working with Chris, yeah. The energy.
It came through.
Yeah,
It came through. All right, so when you take on a voice like Steven Spielberg, which is amazing, by the way, do they give you material to research or research? I said research. It's got to be a hashtag. Do they give you material to research, or do you get to talk with him?
When I do a character for him?
Well, when you do, I guess as a voice of Micah, when you do impersonations and whatnot, do you? Yeah.
It's my question.
Oh,
That guy's responsible.
clarify your question.
Yeah.
So, like with Steven Spielberg, because it's a very distinctive voice, do you listen to like making of material from him, or do you get the chance to hang out with Mr. Spielberg?
Oh, actually, no, but I was trying to be very careful with Mr. Spielberg, and I'm trying to make sure it sounds just right for Mr. Spielberg. No, I just seen, you know, a few interviews and, you know, just took a guess. It was kind of a wild impression, so not too much study on that one. But evidently he seemed to enjoy it. He sent me a little cell signed Stephen, and he kind of stuttered, you know. He got it. Thank you.
So, this is more of a request, it seems, than anything. What do you think? May we hear your impressionation of Mr. Cullen's Optimus Prime?
That's very dangerous. I may be stupid, but I'm not crazy. I really, I think I'll have to pass.
I don't blame you.
All right. Roll out.
Communication is right over there. I gotta want to see that. Stock market's down about 300 points. Apparently the market's completely burned down. Go ahead, that's all right. We didn't want to interrupt you. The whole thing about Peter Cullen, we both could have got sued, but never mind. It's all right.
Give you a mic. So,
He got me here, by the way, so I'm very, very thankful for him. The first thing and the most important thing he said to me is, "Do you have your badge?" All right, that's right.
well, in fact, you just got one left here.
Okay.
We might be able to fit some more stuff into it. What is it like to voice one of pop culture's most infamous villains? What has that been like for you?
Absolutely wonderful. You know, it really is absolutely awe-inspiring and thrilling for me to think that something that I did 30 years ago is, number one, is still here, and that these people enjoy it, and remember me, and are so nice to me. It means a lot. I thank you so, so much.
Usually when there's a voice actor here, someone asks, what's it like to get into voice acting? How can I get into voice acting? Have you ever had anyone come back to you after giving advice such that did make it, that came back and that you helped along the way?
Well, this is a little, well, it's close to, yeah, it's a strange kind of departure, but the same question. Am I making any sense? Somebody just slap me. I think this is an interesting story that just shows you the character of one of my friends who I absolutely adore. You all know him. His name is Howie Mandel. He is a wonderful, funny, comedic genius, and if you ever get an opportunity to see his stand-up show, he's just fantastic. But years ago, we worked together in a show called Laugh Tracks. It was sort of like Saturday Night Live with no budget. We were in LA and we were working together, and I just met him, and he'd do these funny voices, incredible voices, and I said, Howie, you ought to do voice work. He said, okay, okay. It's terrible. So I was on an audition for Gremlins, and I talked to Mark Mangini, the sound editor, and I said, you got to meet this guy, Howie Mandel. He does great voices. So I said, okay, send him in. So I sent Howie in. Well, sure enough, he got Gizmo. Remember Gizmo? And he was fantastic. And then we recorded together, and we did a whole bunch of the Gremlins. Had a blast, and to show you the kind of guy he is, even today in print, you'll see once in a while they'll say, yeah, well, one of the great things, Fred Welker got me on the voiceovers. So I mean, he still remembers and gives me credit. That just shows you what a guy is, so I appreciate it. But anyway, that's one of the stories. Oh, I'm sorry. On a footnote to that story, because this goes right back to what you're asking me.
Yeah.
Did it ever come back? Yes. Howie did his own cartoon show, Bobby's World. And who did he call? Me. I was his dog. He never forgot.
There are lots of dogs.
Oh, a lot of
There are a
them.
whole lot of dogs. Looks like we have some more.
Says, please get off the stage. You're boring me to tears. Obviously, an Autobot.
Interesting. We're going on top here. Curious George is my children's favorite character of yours. What sort of curious adventure would he get into in the Transformers world? Beast Wars or what, but, huh.
Who's been monkeying around with sound waves controls? It was a monkey, my lord. I'll take care of it.
Thank you.
That's the late night version.
Thank you.
No trouble looking out of this movie.
Sort of was ready. What is next for you?
Actually, we're finishing up the Scooby stuff. We've got the Kiss movie, which I mentioned. And we're doing some Garfield things, and not necessarily things, but some safety deals. And I'd like to do Garfield for you, but it takes so much energy. Okay, here's Garfield. You know, the other day I was walking down the street. I got really hungry. So I decided I'd take a nap so that I'd have enough energy to get up and go home and have some dinner. Now that takes a lot of energy. I love Garfield.
It's great because there's a little Peter Venkman there, and you were Ray Stans, so it's all this weird full circle, 6 degrees of Frank.
Well, Lorenzo Music obviously was the first Garfield. And again, another really good friend, super talented man who I got to work with a lot. We did the show together, and so when we lost him, everybody knew that I did him.
Yeah.
And we waited and waited, and it was tough for a while, but then I finally decided to give it a shot. Jim Davis, who produces the show, was very, 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 very polite and respectful of Lorenzo and our situation, so I decided to go ahead. So now I just basically am the cat.
And the dog, too. Scooby-Doo.
And that answer is actually the perfect segue to this last question. As a voice actor, who inspires you?
Well, I would say everything and everybody. Nothing really specific, but I could say that inspires me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Thank you once again. You're the best.